All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day when I tell you how easy, affordable, and fast it is to start your bulletproof handyman business. This is my favorite kind of video to do because everybody thinks it's hard or it's expensive or it's impossible. It is none of those things. It's actually easy. I've got 10 easy steps here for you. It's an entire blueprint for you to just follow and you'll have your bulletproof handyman business. So we're going to go over researching model and pricing. We're going to secure our name and identity. That's a very important one. We're going to fund a business checking account. Super easy. Lock in our branding strategy. Also super easy. We're going to let AI build our website unless we're just super good at building websites or we have a bunch of money to pay somebody. But it's super easy to let the AI build your website as well, and it's going to do a great job. We're going to form our LLC online, fast, easy, and affordably. We're going to acquire any necessary licenses, and these are just our business licenses. You can also get like contractor's licenses, but I'm just talking about our business licenses. Also, a very quick and easy online process. And then we're going to pick a CRM, we're going to get our insurance, we're going to find our clients, and we're going to launch our business. And I promise you, like I keep saying, this is fast, this is easy, this is affordable. There's nothing difficult about this. You can do this just like everybody else can. So we're going to start off with model and pricing. We're going to research our business. You need to know your business model before you ever get started. You can't even seek out the correct clients if you don't know what kind of business you're running. And some of the things you're going to be looking at is, are you going to be working for owners or are you going to be working for property managers? Are you going to be working commercial or residential? Are you going to be working vacant properties or occupied properties? Large jobs or small jobs? Investors or insurance? Those are usually much more profitable, by the way. Governments and institutions are very different to work with, or you might even be a nonprofit. But I'm going to repeat this again. You cannot seek out your clients if you don't know who your clients are, and you can't know who your clients are if you don't know what type of business you are. If you think you're going to be this overall handyman who can be everything to everybody, you cannot do that well, and you cannot do that affordably. You cannot do that profitably. You need to know what kind of handyman business you're building so that you can find the correct clients and specialize on suiting their needs. So starting out with step one right away is our business identity. And this is going to be the fun part. This is the part everybody likes, and it doesn't cost you hardly anything. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit down and come up with a handful of names that you think you would like your business to be named. Names that you can be very, very happy with. And once you come up with those names, the first thing you got to do, because you want to eventually be an LLC, even if you're not going to start off as one, which I think you should, but even if you don't start off as an LLC, you need to have a name that can be an LLC, so you need to make sure it's available with your Secretary of State. Every state has a Secretary of State or some similar website where you can go and punch in the name you would like your business to be and find out if it's already taken. If it's already taken, you can't use that name. Move on to another name. Another thing you're going to do once you've verified that is you're going to go to social media and check the availability there. And again, even if you're not going to be posting on social media initially, you need to make sure your name is available on social media because you don't want to grow a business with somebody else's social media name. Now, once you find out that it's available with your state and it's generally available via social media, or at least some alternatives that you like via social media, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go make sure that you can get a domain for that website for that business. So if your business is like Brian's Handyman Service or just Brian's Handyman Service, you want to make sure that you can get brianshandymanservice.com or an alternative that you think is going to be a good alternative. So check with your Secretary of State, check social media in general, and verify that the domain itself is available. Once you've verified those three things and you like your name, I'm not going to tell you whether to put handyman in the name. If people are searching for a handyman and that's the business you're trying to build, I don't see any reason why your name can't say handyman. Also, you'll eventually, if not immediately, be an LLC, and your LLC can have DBAs underneath it, so doing business as. So you could start as Brian's Handyman Service, and then in 2 years, you could just create a DBA. This is not a separate business. It's just a different branding that your main business is using. You can create a separate DBA underneath that main business that says, you know, Brian's Remodeling and Construction. You can call it whatever you want. So don't worry about what your name is so much. Just make sure that you like it, that it's available, that it points people towards, generally speaking, what you're doing, that you can get it with your Secretary of State on social media, and you can get a domain hosted with that because you're going to want an email address that's at yourbusinessesname.com. And then once you get all that done and you verified everything, you're going to go to irs.gov. I promise you this is super easy. It's stupid easy. You're not going to believe how easy it is. Just go to irs.gov, click on the little thing there on the main page. It's like the top left, very first thing that you can click on that's going to say get an EIN. Click on that, fill in your information. It's very basic information, takes less than 5 minutes, and you will receive an EIN. And I'm going to tell you real quick what an EIN is. An EIN is basically a social security number for a business. It's creating this new taxable entity underneath the United States government for your business to pay its taxes, and you're going to need this EIN moving forward with the next steps. And these next steps, by the way, you need to do these steps in order. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but you're going to have a much better time if you do the next steps in order. So, the very first next step is going to be to open and fund a business checking account. It needs to be a business checking account. Don't use a personal checking account. Again, even if not immediately, you're going to want to be an LLC, and an LLC cannot be using a personal checking account. Otherwise, you completely defeat the purpose of the limited liability that a limited liability company affords you. So you need a business checking account, and you're going to fund it with whatever money it is that you're putting up from your pocket to invest into your business. And from here on out, you're going to make sure every penny that your business spends, every business expense that your business spends is going to get spent out of this business checking account. So for me, I like Bluevine. I just now partnered with them. They're an online-only bank. It takes like 5 minutes to get an account. You don't have to have any minimum deposit. You don't have to prove to them. For example, with Wells Fargo, it took me about 2 weeks to get my business checking account because they had to verify my LLC and all kinds of stuff. Bluevine, you're going to be able to just click the link in my description, go there, enter your information, and get an account. You don't even have to fund the account. There's no minimum balance. You're going to get a percentage back every year. The only downside, and I don't think it's a huge downside, but the only downside is there are no local branches. They don't have any physical brick and mortar locations. So you're going to be depositing your checks via mobile upload with your phone, which they told me typically goes through within 24 hours, and it's the same with your local bank. If you take a check to your local bank today, it's not going to be available to you to use until tomorrow. Basically the same with Bluevine. So you're going to not have any physical locations, and by the way, you can still take cash. All you have to do is document that you received the cash and make sure you pay your taxes on the cash. But the cash doesn't have to go into the business checking and out of the business checking. It can go into your wallet and out of your wallet as long as you're claiming the fact that you made the cash and you're paying the taxes on the cash that you made. So once you've got your checking, whether you use my link to go through Bluevine or you go through whatever bank you're already with, once you have that business checking, and by the way, if I didn't mention, all you need is an EIN for Bluevine. You don't need to prove you're an LLC or anything else. All you have to do is have that EIN, which I just told you, go to irs.gov. It's like the very first thing you can click on that main page, and it takes 5 minutes to get, and that's free. So all you need is your EIN. Once you have your business checking account, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go purchase that domain that you searched for, that you found out was available. You're going to go purchase that domain immediately, and while you're purchasing the domain, I suggest getting a package deal so you get the domain and the web hosting and the email hosting all together all at once, get a little bit of savings. And again, I do have a link in the description for Wix. I think Wix is the best. That's just my own personal opinion. I love their AI website generation. I've got videos on this channel showing you how to use it. I think it makes beautiful websites without you hardly being involved at all, and the little bit of editing you need to do with its AI generated website is very easy to do. So easy a handyman can do it. So I would go to Wix, but go somewhere and purchase that domain, and I think while you're at it, go ahead and purchase the website itself and the email hosting for that domain. Get all of that going, and now you're going to create an email address under your domain. So if it's Brian's Handyman Service, then you're going to go and you're going to create the email address brian@brianshandymanservice.com, or affiliates@brianshandymanservice.com, or admin@brianshandymanservice.com, customers@brianshandymanservice.com, whatever email addresses you want. For example, supply houses. Maybe you want to go sign up for Home Depot, Lowe's, an electrical supply company, a plumbing supply company, supply houses all over town, online supply houses, and you want to sign up for all of them with supply@brianshandymanservice.com. So get those email addresses made, And now what you're going to do, now that you have your domain and your email, is all of the future steps that I'm about to tell you to take. You're going to use the correct email addresses under your domain for all of that. This is going to ensure that you don't start off with 𝗪𝗛𝗠𝗪𝗛@gmail.com, eventually grow up into a big boy business later on, and now all of your clients and all of your suppliers and everything you've ever done with your business is going through this dinky little Gmail instead of going through an actual domain that you are having hosted, that you have a website for. So go ahead and get that going right off the bat. Make sure that it's at 𝗪𝗛𝗠𝗪𝗛@handymanservice.com. And then the next thing you're going to do along the exact same vein is using that, you might do social media at 𝗪𝗛𝗠𝗪𝗛@handymanservice.com, and then you're going to go to all those social media sites you checked. You want to get Facebook, Instagram, the X platform, TikTok, LinkedIn, every single platform that you could possibly imagine yourself or any business ever being on. You don't have to use them right away, but go reserve your name. Make sure that you have an account there so that somebody else doesn't take your business's name. My business's name, my actual handyman business, I made this mistake. I started my handyman business without doing all this research. I named it without doing all this research, and then I found out that if I wanted my business's name.com, I can't have it because it's some leatherworking company up in the Northeast. They already have it, and they already have the Facebook, and they already have the Instagram and everything else. So use this time right now, since you just purchased your domain and you just got your email hosting, you go ahead and use that email address, social@brianshandymanservice.com, and go start accounts for every single one of these social media sites. Next is going to be another fun part, which is locking in your branding. And I want to be clear, I do not have a link for these guys. I do not have an affiliate relationship with them, so this should tell you how much I believe in them. I think smashinglogo.com makes amazing logos. It's an AI-generated logo design company, and they make outstanding logos. My handyman business's logo, I made there. My Bulletproof Handyman logo, if you've seen the round one that looks like the back end of a shotgun shell and stuff, I made that there. You get animated versions of it. You get all the different shapes and sizes that you're supposed to have. One for TikTok, one for Instagram, one for this, one for that. Portrait, landscape, all the shapes, all the sizes. They give you an entire branding kit. And the kit includes things like, for example, when you do your colors. Let's say you're going to hire out some small local company, whether it be to build t-shirts or maybe to do door hangers for you to go hang on doors. You need to provide these places with your branding kit, right? They want to see a branding kit, and your branding kit, it's going to have your colors with the exact like RGBXY color combinations. It's going to have like 3 different hexadecimal, all the different color combinations in the formats that they will understand. It's going to have all your fonts, all of your typefaces. It's going to have your logo as it is. It's going to have like more of a boxy, roundish logo, as well as like a drawn out printed logo. It's going to have just everything. Mine, it comes with animated logo, so I can have little like GIFs where my logo sort of draws itself live in front of you. But again, I have no affiliate relationship with him. I have no links for you to click. I hope I do someday. I would love to partner with him, but smashinglogo.com, and spend some time on there. Or go to any other website, doesn't matter, but get your logo made. I like smashinglogo.com, but my point more is that you want to come up with a branding package right now. And when you come up with that branding package, that's your branding package. You stick to it. Every time you make any sort of media for your business, all of your logos, all of your fonts, everything on all your social media sites, they're all going to be following the same branding guidelines. All your door hangers, same branding guidelines. Your website, branding guidelines. Memorandums, emails, email signatures. Everything you do to interact with the public and or your client base is all done with your branding guidelines. And what this is going to do is right away it's going to mean absolutely nothing to anybody. But in 3 years, people are going to recognize your customers, your clients, your community in 3 years is going to start recognizing your branding guidelines. They're just going to see it, and quickly, by the combination of font and color and stuff, they're just going to know that's you, and it's going to give them that warm, happy feeling, and they're going to remember who you are, and they're going to know that you are their handyman company. And next, we're going to move on to the AI website builder. This is the one I already told you a few steps ago. When you purchase that domain, just go ahead and purchase the website, the email hosting, and all that as a package so you get that discount and you're not piecing that together there later. But the next thing you want to do, especially if you're on Wix, is just have Wix use their AI website builder for you. It is amazingly easy to do. I have a link in the description, by the way. That's how I fund this channel, is with these affiliate links. Click them or don't click them. Do what's best for you. I don't want you spending money that you don't need to spend on products you don't need that aren't the best for you, but I do have a link for Wix in the description. And when you go to Wix and you tell it to do this website, it's going to ask you some questions. You're going to answer them. It's going to take you about 5-10 minutes at the most, and it's going to, boom, give you a website. That website, you're going to need to go and edit some of the wording. So you're going to click on a little paragraph, and then over on the right-hand side, you're going to click an edit button, and you're just going to type out whatever it is that you would like that paragraph to say. Same thing with the photos. There's going to be a photo in there. It's not a photo of you because you didn't give it a photo of you yet. So you're going to click on the photo. You're going to go to the right side of the screen. You're going to click that edit button. You're going to upload your own photo into that slot. You can just grab things with your mouse and drag them around. You can add stuff. You can delete stuff. I promise you, it's so easy a handyman can do it. It really is. And you won't need to edit much. And within a couple hours, you're going to have a website that at the very least is a good enough landing page. And that's really all you're looking for, at least initially. It's just a nice landing page for clients to come look at so that they can see that you're a legit business. And don't forget, when you build this website, build it with your branding kit. So you're going to use your colors, you're going to use your logos, you're going to use your fonts, you're going to use all of your branding kit to build this website, and you're going to keep that uniform top to bottom. Now, a few pieces of advice I have for you is, number one, use AI-generated photography if you need to, and look it over real closely and make sure it looks nice. Some of it is not good, some of it is good, but use AI-generated photography if you don't have the kind of photography that you think would be best. The second piece of advice I'm going to give you is if you have a bunch of pictures from old work you do, and you want to put pictures on there of before and after, please don't put any during pictures on there. Use the before, use the after so they can see the difference. Nobody wants to see the mess that you made in the middle. Nobody wants to see a half-done project with a bunch of tools and trash laying around, unless it's building a house, in which case you can show them the cement slab with no framing, and then a fully framed house, and then a fully finished house. But don't be showing the in-the-middle during pictures. Nobody wants to see your mess. Also, for your website, less is more, guys. Nobody wants to read a million pages of your whole history and your whole take on the handyman business. They want to hear that you're professional, responsible, reliable, and experienced, and maybe affordable, but don't pitch on affordability. Have your services listed extremely clearly, and don't do Wix's AI scheduling feature. If you want to add that later, you can, but we're going to go into a different way to do online scheduling that's going to work much better, so do not have them add the scheduling feature. If you want that feature, you can go do it later. Next step is going to be to form an LLC, and this is one of those steps that everybody thinks must be insanely complicated and scary and expensive, and I'm telling you again, it's not. I have a link in the description for this one too. It's Northwest Registered Agent. They're going to charge you $40, which is almost free. They're going to charge, it's like $39.95 or something like that, 40 bucks, and they're going to form your LLC for you. They know exactly what they're doing. They're a family-owned and run business. They're one of the few businesses that do this that isn't some kind of tech startup that has billionaires that needs to pay back. So, and it's not like it's a teeny tiny business either, but it is still family-owned and run. I think it's a great business, and the thing that you're going to notice is different is a lot of these other guys, they're going to say that you get a free LLC. By the time you've gotten your LLC at the end, they've nickeled and dimed you out of 200 bucks. These guys are not going to nickel and dime you out of 200 bucks. You're going to get your LLC from Northwest Registered Agent for 40 bucks plus state filing fees. Clearly, they're not going to dip into their own pocket to pay the state of Arizona or the state of Colorado. So whatever your state charges as a filing fee, typically anywhere from 50 bucks to a few hundred bucks, you're going to pay $40 plus that filing fee. You're going to just fill in all the information you need to fill in. You've got your EIN and stuff already, and you're going to have your LLC. And in most states, and this is not all states, but in most states, once you've submitted that application completely and fully, you officially are an LLC. You can begin operating as an LLC once you've submitted that package, even if it takes 5 days to get approved, or 2 days to get approved, or 9 days to get approved. You can basically call yourself an LLC in most states after you paid that $40 and filed it and walked away. Boom, you're an LLC now. Now, I want to tell you why it's important to be an LLC. There's a few reasons. Number one is in the name, limited liability company. So what limited liability means, and you're going to have people tell you that this doesn't work, and they're kind of correct, guys. A good enough lawyer for, General Motors or General Electric or Monsanto, they're going to be able to hire lawyers that can get around your LLC. But your average homeowner, your average property manager, your average business owner locally in your town, is not going to be able to use lawyers to get around your LLC. Limited liability, what this means is when you get your LLC, this LLC, kind of like your EIN is a social security number for a new entity that's going to pay taxes, your LLC is a new person that exists under the Constitution. It's treated as a separate person, and what it does is it separates your personal, I own this house, right? If my business goes bankrupt, as long as I've done my LLC properly and I haven't mingled my accounts and stuff, then as long as it's all been done properly, my business can go bankrupt and I still get to keep my house and my personal belongings. It separates you, Ray Duke, from the business, Bulletproof Handyman, so that the business can get sued, the business can incur debt, the business can do all kinds of things, and it doesn't come back on you, the person. That's the biggest reason for an LLC. Now, the second reason for an LLC is because once I'm gonna say, and this is iffy, you could say 50 grand, 65 grand, 80 grand, but in my opinion, once you hit about 65,000 per year, money in your pocket. This is after you've paid all your expenses, you bought your gas, you bought your materials, you paid for your CRM and your insurance, you got all your deductions done, and you look at the amount of money that you get to keep at the end of the year. If it's 65,000, which is not hard to do with a handyman business, if you're keeping 65 grand a year, at that point, you need to be talking to your accountant about becoming an S Corp. You can also do it at 50. It's technically worth it at 50. It's just barely worth it. 65, it's definitely worth it. 80 grand, you're losing a significant amount of money at 80 grand if you're not an S Corp. And at 100 grand, you're losing a stupid amount of money every year by not making yourself an S Corp. So you want to start your LLC. I suggest doing it at the beginning because even without the tax advantages, you're protecting yourself, your family, and your personal assets from the business should the business fail. So go to Northwest Registered Agent, get your LLC formed, or go to any other place to get your LLC formed. You can also do it yourself, or you can pay an accountant to do it. They're going to be a lot more expensive though. And speaking of accountants, I do recommend in general, when you start this business, that you do get an accountant. It's good to have an accountant. I wouldn't have them forming my LLC and stuff. I did before I found Northwest Registered Agent, but at the very least, you do want to have an accountant. You want them to be on board with you. Many of them are going to have monthly programs where you can pay them like $25 a month, and they'll go through and sort of sort all of your expenses on a monthly basis. That way, when it's time to file quarterly or annually, all the paperwork's basically done and taken care of from that $25 a month, and then it's a quick, easy, cheap process to get things filed quarterly and annually. Next step, I can't help you with a lot. The next step is acquiring your business licenses. And there's not much I can do here, and the reason for that is every city's different, every county's different, and every state is different. And some places, my God, when I was in Denver, Denver had like some sort of weird sub-municipality that was beneath the city level, but that if you were in their little district, you also had to get a business license with them. So this is going to be on you for once to just completely research this yourself, but you want to go to your city and your state, at the very least, those two locations online. Just search how to get a business license in Colorado, how to get a business license in Denver, how to get a business license in Tucson. It's generally an easy process, and now that we're post-COVID, it's almost always an online process, which is absolutely great because you can just knock it out online, again, in like 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. And again, most of the time, in most municipalities and in most states, once you've submitted your application and paid your fee, you can typically begin operating as a business the instant you've done that. Even if it takes a week to get your final approval back, typically you can start operating as soon as you've paid that money and officially submitted your application. So that step is acquire your business licenses. Next step is also a super easy one, super quick one, and that's to acquire business insurance. This is something every business has to do. There's a lot of different types that you could know about. There's tools and equipment coverage. There's professional liability coverage, which kind of covers you if you get sued and stuff. You're going to want commercial liability for your auto most likely, but the one I'm talking about right here, right now, that you must have. There's no law requiring it, but you must have general liability insurance. A basic, and this is basic, a basic, cheap $1 million general liability policy is just standard across the board for just every business. It doesn't even matter what industry you're in. You need a $1 million general liability policy. If you're doing this part-time on the side, probably going to cost you $50 to $100 a month. If you're trying to run a full-time handyman business, and I mean full-time, like you're trying to make more than 6 figures a year, you're trying to work your butt off 7 days a week and grow something real to be proud of, then perhaps a good insurance for you is going to be more in the ballpark of $100 to $200 a month, with $150 being a nice sweet spot somewhere in the middle. If you're working for institutions like universities and governments, a lot of them are going to want you to have a $2 million liability. Also, as I said, you probably should get commercial liability for your vehicle. I will tell you that if you get in a wreck and the cops show up and the cops say, hey, were you in the course of performing work for a business or your business or any business, that's going to matter. Your personal insurance won't cover it if you're doing business. So at the very least, don't say you were doing business, but do get your liability, at the very least, general liability. As with everything else, I do have a link in the description for Next Insurance. I've been with Next Insurance for the entirety of the 4 years of this business. There might be one exception where I think it lapsed and I went and got some cheap, like fly-by-night insurance for a week or two or maybe a month and then back to Next. But I've been with Next Insurance basically for 4 years. I like them. They specialize in the trades. They know exactly what our businesses do. Their prices are fair. They just know what we're doing. And the few times I've heard from you guys on this channel, whether it happened to you or a coworker or somebody you know, I've heard a few stories now where somebody had to use their general liability insurance for their handyman or electricians or plumbers or whatever business. And Next Insurance has been showing up like same day or next day and cutting a check to the harmed party same day. Very nice checks. And I think this is because they know that you could come back and sue them and get a lot more money later if you don't say yes to the check today. So they offer pretty good amounts to people to just get them to sign everything off and drop the whole thing right away, same day or next day. You just can't beat that. Now, 2 tips I'm going to give you. One is don't get a whole lot of quotes. Don't go get a quote from 20 different small business insurance companies. Or if you do, make sure you're using a VPN. Similar to airline tickets, when you keep trying to get quotes for the same type of business from the same IP address on the same computer, it sees that and it starts bumping all of those rates up. So don't go all over the place to get these, or at the very least, use a VPN while you are going and getting them. And I don't even know if that works, just some people have said use a VPN, so maybe that'll help if you do that. And then the other thing is read the exclusions. Your really cheap plans, exclusions are things that are not covered. It's going to be a whole list of, hey, if any of these situations apply, you're not covered. The cheapest insurance you can get is going to have lots of exclusions. The most expensive insurance you can get is going to have very few exclusions. That's most of the difference. Also, your zip code matters, your credit history matters, and your criminal history matters. They may check any of those 3 things when you go to get your business insurance. Next is going to be to acquire a CRM. For me, that's Jobber. I started my business with Jobber. All of my business history is in Jobber. Literally all of it for 4 years. Everything is there. It's extremely intuitive. It works great. It's going to take care of literally everything. In fact, I've got a list here. It's going to do, here's some of the most important features. You're going to be able to create jobs like in your software. You're also going to be able to create your clients. So it's going to keep a history of all your clients, all of their properties, all of the jobs, all of the estimates. You can create the estimates, create the invoices. They can pay their invoices through Jobber. It keeps an entire database of literally every detail of your business. It does have a request button or a request function. So your clients have a client portal they can go to and click a button to request more work from you. It has online scheduling, so they can actually schedule you. You can do like I do and have custom line items in there, so instead of typing the same things out a million times every time I change a doorknob, I've just got custom line items that I can click and add a quantity and just run with. You can make your custom line items online bookable, so people can just call or go to the website or rather just going to the website, the online bookable ones, they can go to the website and just click around and order your services and book you without ever talking to you. They also have a new thing that's an AI receptionist, which is still in beta mode. I've done a few videos if y'all want to see her in action, but she is an AI that's going to be answering your business phone, and it's already deployed right now. I have it, a few of y'all on this channel have it, and you're using it and you like it, but all of the things like the online booking, people can call, she'll answer the phone, and she will answer all of their questions, and I'll show you how to train her. I have a video on how to train her, and I'm going to do even more to train her on your business, but she will answer questions, she will transfer people, give you the phone numbers that you need to call the correct people, and she will book jobs for you, she'll book assessments for you, all kinds of good stuff. You can also print out a whole bunch of reports on there. So all the different reports just for balancing your books and stuff, or for seeing how you're doing, or seeing how your salespeople are doing. Lots and lots of reporting features. It has a scheduling and a calendar feature that also syncs with like a Google, your Google Calendar, your Apple Calendar. It'll sync with all of those. It does job costing, so you can track the profitability of all your jobs. You can clock in, you can clock out. You can also clock into individual jobs, clock out of individual jobs. You can also bring in a team and have employees in there so they have access to your jobber account, so they can see their jobs, so that they can go, they can clock in, they can clock out. A lot of functionality for your employees and tracking them. GPS coordination if you go with Fleet Sharp or something like that. It has lead management, so you can attribute leads. They do ACH payments, so that's a 1% fee instead of like 2 point something whatever percent for when people pay with a debit or credit card. They have ACH payments that you can do there. That's a bank-to-bank transfer. It syncs with QuickBooks, which every business has to have QuickBooks. And by the way, I have a link for QuickBooks in the description. I also have a link for Jobber in the description. I also do webinars to show you how I use Jobber to run my business, mostly every Saturday. Lots of stuff. There's more. I can't go over everything it does. It has mass marketing features, so you can send out mass emails to all of your clients that you've ever had that are in your Jobber account to keep them engaged, etc., etc. You need a CRM. A CRM is what you're going to run your entire business with. It's going to manage your entire business. Make sure you get a good one. I'm with Jobber, like I said. I've got a link in the description for Jobber. I think it's amazing. I can help you out if you have Jobber and tell you how to use it. I cannot help you out if you use any of the other ones. But get your CRM. You want to have it on day one. It's going to make you look professional. It's going to keep everything organized. And if you succeed in the way that I'm going to try to help you succeed, if you succeed, you're going to need it. You're going to actually need it. You don't want to be in a position where you suddenly have tons of work, tons of phone calls, tons of emails, tons of requests, tons of everything, and you're trying to do it all on paper and spreadsheets and Word documents. You do not want to find yourself in that position. Please don't find yourself in that position, whether it's Jobber, which is my one that I love, or some other one. Just make sure you go into this with a CRM. Next, what else do we have here? I like these little notes I've been making myself. Next, oh yeah, fun step is acquire clients. The way we're going to acquire our clients is as follows. This is my recommendation. So first of all, you're going to build packages that represent your business. And these packages, these are going to be nice folders with nice printer paper that you use. You can get the ones that have the little slits in the front to like pop your business card in and stuff. But you're going to build these folders, and inside this folder, you're going to have a cover page that's like a basic introduction. Hey, my name is Ray Duke with Bulletproof Handyman Business, and here's a little bit about me and my business. I'd love to work with you. After that, you're going to throw in there a page that shows all of your services that you provide, a page that breaks down how your pricing works. You're going to want to have a page that's your W-9 for you to give them. They're going to need a W-9 from you in order to onboard you into their system, a copy of your insurance, and just really anything else at all for your business that shows that you're a legit business. All applicable licenses and stuff. If you're bonding, you want to have a copy of your bonding put in there, and you're going to put this package together. And it doesn't really, make it digital and make it physical. I recommend personally making the physical packages, especially if you're going to try to work with property managers and other business-to-business type clients. But whether it's digital or whether it's physical, put together these packages, and any clients you seek out, you're going to use these packages. You're going to give it to them so they have everything right off the bat to understand who you are, what you do, what you charge, and the fact that you are in fact a professional, legitimate business, and you're going to allay all of those fears right off the bat with these packages. Now, as I was saying, I do think business to business is the way to go. I think it's the most bulletproof way to get tons of solid work over a long period of time. And if you do business to business and you do property managers, one of the most important things you can do is put yourself in front of the clients in person. So I'm going to recommend, and I've recommended this a bunch, tons of you have done this, it works every time. You're going to put together about a dozen packages. You're going to get together 15 addresses of 15 property management companies, and you're going to start out at about 8 a.m., go to the store, pick up some cookies, muffins, vegetable platters, fruit platters, whatever. Pick up some snacks and start going to every single one of those spots on your list, every company. Half of them are going to have the doors locked and they're work from home. That's okay. You don't want to call in advance for an appointment, because if they don't need a handyman right now, they're going to tell you no, because they don't want to waste their time meeting you if they don't need a handyman. So you're just going to show up. If they do answer the door, you're going to smile, you're going to shake their hand, you're going to be presentable, wearing clean clothes, nicely groomed, hand over the cookies, have your package there, and just introduce yourself and say, hey, my name's Ray Duke with Bulletproof Handyman Business, and I just want you to know I'm a new handyman business in town, or an established handyman business in town, but I'm a handyman business in town. I focus exclusively on serving property managers. I know exactly what your needs are. I know how to take care of you, and I'd love to just sit down with my package real quick. No pressure, just show you what I do, let you ask me any questions. I don't expect any work from you today, but I'd like to just get the introduction taken care of. You can hold on to my package, and if and when you do need me, you can go ahead and give me a call. Everybody who does this, except one guy, I've had 100 of y'all tell me now that you've done this. You've made your packages, you've gone and done the rounds, and you all walk away with at least one new property manager client. And property manager client means client with hundreds of houses that all need to be worked on, and now you're the guy that they're going to call when they need that work done. It is a great way to get a lot of business. So put together the package, show up in person. Another piece of advice I'm going to give you that I firmly believe in is don't pay for leads, don't pay for leads, stop paying for leads, and don't pay for leads. There are legitimate ways to run a business where you're paying for leads. I don't think they're necessary, I don't think they're good for anybody, and I don't think you need to pay for them. What you need to do is acquire clients, kick ass, let them see that you are absolutely amazing so that they keep hiring you over and over. And remember, when you're brand new with these clients, it doesn't matter who they are. When you're brand new, every job is an emergency. Whatever they need from you is the most important thing in your world until it's taken care of. Once you're established, you can calm down a little bit. Still give them stellar service, but you can calm down a little bit. But until you're well established with them, every single job you do is an emergency. Now let's talk about my additional resources. As I mentioned earlier, I do webinars every Saturday. These are workflow webinars. I'm going to teach you how I build my jobs in the Jobber software. I'm going to teach you how I build my estimates in the Jobber software. I'm going to teach you how I invoice. And then I'm going to open the floor up for any other questions about how we do business inside the Jobber software. Once that's all done, then I open up the floor to just any general questions and or website reviews, so you can send me your website links, and on the actual webinar, I'll just go to your website, look it over, and give you a review of your website as well. I also wanted to let you know, I did forget to mention, as far as the calendar function, I told you not to do a scheduling function on your Wix website, or on any other website for that matter. The reason is, if you get Jobber, one of the things I'll show you in these webinars, if you ask and you need it, is how to go put, Jobber is going to give you a link where you can embed a request form or a booking form on a website. So you don't want Wix using their booking system, and then you're going and trying to use Jobber's booking system, or whatever other CRM you use. They're all going to have these links for you to do online booking and online requests. So you want to make sure that your CRM's booking form or booking button is embedded on your website, not the Wix one on the website. So I do those Webinars typically every Saturday, sometimes on Sundays, sometimes I go camping and I don't do one, but I try to do one a week, and I'll take you through all of that stuff. Another thing I have is a free masterclass. There's also a link to that in the description of this video. You can do it on the Thinkific website, it's free, or you can go directly to bulletproofhandyman.com, and the exact same content is at bulletproofhandyman.com in the same order. It's just not as structured like it is on the Thinkific website. So pick whichever one you want to go and do that masterclass. The next thing I have is at the very bottom of the description on this video and on every video. I do have a link that you can click to get my business documents. Again, all free, guys. Zero paywalls on this channel. If you want to help me out, if this is good content for you and this is helpful, the way you help me out is going through my description, and anything that you're already curious about, any place that you might already be spending money on products and or services, just use my links to get there. That's all I ask of you. I'm not even asking you to purchase. I'm just saying use my link to get there initially, and if it's right for you, then go ahead and purchase it through my link. But as I was saying, scroll to the bottom of that description and you're going to find a link for my free documents, because there are no paywalls on this channel. You click on that link, fill out a little form, you're going to get a link to my folder, and in my folder, one of the things you're going to find that's insanely useful that everybody wants is actually two documents. One is called Jobs List with Pricing. This is a comprehensive list of every single job any property manager is ever going to ask you to do on a rental property. It's so all-encompassing, it's mind-blowing. If I'm missing anything, I'm missing less than 1% of all jobs that any property manager is ever going to ask you to do. I also have a pricing function on there. I want you to pay less attention to my pricing. You need to learn how to do your own pricing. I have videos on the channel and in the masterclass for that, so learn how to do your own pricing, but you can download my jobs list with pricing document by clicking on that link, as well as lots of other documents. The other one is my custom line items from my Jobber account, so the ones I told you about where I can just click on them and enter a quantity. If you have Jobber, you can simply download my custom line items as a file onto your computer, go into your Jobber account, go into your custom line items, scroll down to the bottom, there's going to be a button to import CSV files, custom line items. Click that button, you upload mine, and you will, just like that, have all of my custom line items from my actual handyman business that's in operation daily. You'll have my custom line items inside your Jobber account. I highly recommend that you never use them until you have read through them, change the wording up to match your business, your location, your everything about you. Personalize it to you, personalize the pricing to your business, but you can get my custom line items transferred directly into your Jobber account. The next thing that I have to offer you is my campouts. I try to do a campout every 6 to 8 weeks throughout most of the year, and you guys are invited on these campouts where you can just camp for a weekend with me and pick my brain. Sometimes they're sponsored. For example, Next Insurance is sponsoring the one that's coming up February 7th through 9th. We're going to be in a cabin. That's all paid for by Next Insurance. The next one is in March. I do not currently have a sponsor for the one in March, so if the one in March doesn't end up getting a sponsor, it will still take place. You'll still be invited, but you'll have to borrow my camping gear and we'll have to work together on the food situation. But the deal is if they're sponsored, I host you completely. I set up all the gear, I set up the tents, the air mattresses, everything. I purchase all the food, I cook all the food, I do all the cleaning. I spoil you for an entire weekend. I host you at a campout for a whole weekend if it's sponsored. If it's not sponsored, I still do the campout. I stick to the schedule. You're still invited, but instead of me spoiling you for a weekend, I'm just camping with you and helping you out as a buddy for a weekend. And by the way, if you want to encourage these sponsors to continue sponsoring these campouts, their expectation is that they pay for a campout, they do you and me a solid, and we do them a solid by clicking on their links and utilizing their services or their products when it's the right product or service for us. So that's another way y'all can help make sure we get plenty of these campouts and get them sponsored, is just clicking on them links in the description. And finally, the big one, which is also a campout, but it's what I call currently the Handyman Camping Convention. We did the first one last year. It was amazing. and it's intended to be the one big camp out of the year. Last year it was like 8 or 9 people that came. This year I'm hoping it's going to be maybe 16, say 15 to 30, somewhere in that range. And I want it to get bigger every year, but this is the one that's going to be like 6 days long. I want everybody who can come to come. We're all going to set up a little teeny tiny class that we're going to teach. It can be on anything in the world you want. It can be on literally how to tell the difference between different types of light bulbs. I don't care. Put together a little teeny tiny class. I'll have sign in and sign out forms. Everyone who attends the convention is then going to be able to claim that convention as a business expense. So your airline tickets, your gasoline, whatever money you spend to attend that convention, you're going to be able to deduct off of your taxes as a business expense because it is a convention for the industry that you're currently in. I think it's a really neat thing. I want it to be a big one, but you'll have a whole week basically with me and a bunch of other handymen to hang out camping and having a good time and networking. So guys, I'm going to try to wrap this up. I'm sorry I talk a lot, I try to talk less, but I'm really excited about this. This is doable for you, the same way that it was doable for me and for everybody else. You can run this business. You can start this business. It is cheap, it is easy, it is fast. It requires tons of hard work once you get it started. Success is going to take a lot of hard work, but anybody can do this. Anybody can follow all of these steps, and I find it exciting, and I want to share this with y'all. So guys, if you need anything, email me at bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com. Please don't hesitate. Email me anytime at bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply to your email. If I don't, wait a few days and email me again and just let me know that you're bumping it back up to the top of the list. Sometimes I miss one or two, but email me bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com. Otherwise, I love you guys. I hope you're out there killing it, and I'll see y'all on the next one.